Hi everyone, this is Jade.
And this is Toni.
We welcome you in another episode of LDR at Home.
Today we will travel on the vast continent of Africa.
Join us as we uncover the secrets of African mythology.
As a vast continent, Africa is known for many cultures and thousands of languages. Although no single set of myth and legends unites with this diverse population, different cultural groups and regions share common mythological elements.
While the mythologies of many other cultures no longer play an active role in religious beliefs, African myths and legends function as a meaningful part of everyday life. Some African myths deal with universal themes such as the origin of the world and the fate of the individual after death.
So myths and legends developed over thousands of years in Africa south of Sahara, and among of these influences of their development were the mass movement of people that took places from time to time. So this migration also gave rise to the new stories about events in the history.
African cultural groups did not use written language until modern times. Instead, they possessed rich and complex oral traditions, passing myths, legends, and histories from generation to generation verbally. In some cultures, professional storytellers called griots preserved the oral tradition. In early 1800s, written accounts of African mythology began to appear.
So there are various of creation myths in African mythology, and the most famous one is the Yoruba people of the Nigeria. The creation of universe and life. In the beginning, all that existed were water, land, and sky, which was ruled by Oloron, ruler of the sky and creator of the sun. Another god named Obatala, the sky god, went to Oloron to ask if he could create land for the living things to exist. When he was granted the permission, Obatala visited Oronmila, the god of prophecy, to consult with him about his wish. In response, Oronmila told him that he must obtain a gold chain, a snail's shell filled with sand, palm nuts, corn, and special egg that encompassed the essence of both men and women or riches. Obatala hung the long gold chain from the sky and climbed down to the earth, only to find that he could only go so far due to the chain's length. Oronmila calls out Obatala and tells him to dump the sand into the earth and drop the hen. The hen scratches the sand, spreading it around and forming the first solid land on earth. Obatala lets go of the chain and falls to earth, naming the place where he landed Ife. He plants the palm nut, which immediately sprouts into a palm tree. After a while, he decided to fashion human beings to keep him company because his task was quite lonely. The humans created by Obatala came together to form the first Yoruba village in the Ife. Obatala returns to the sky thereafter. He splits his time to between Ife and a home in the sky.
African mythology has its own set of gods and goddesses, which are called the Yoruba African Orishas. In Yoruba mythology, Aganju is the Orisha of volcanoes and the wilderness. The third Orisha that is said to have come to earth, Aganju is an Orisha of great antiquity. Like the sun, which is its symbol, Aganju is believed to be a force that is essential for growth, as well as a cultivator of civilizations. Like the volcano, Aganju is noted for its legendary strength and its ability to bring about drastic change. Yemoja is an Orisha of the oceans and rivers, particularly the Ogun River in Nigeria. She is also celebrated as the giver of life and as the metaphysical mother of all Orishas within the Yoruba spiritual pantheon. Many other Ethans describe her as having never given birth, but as having raised many children, in particular Sango, Dada, and the Ibeji twins. She is temperamental and can be soothing, or unpredictably violent. In Yoruba religion, Ogun is a god of iron and war. In some traditions, he is said to have cleared a path for the other Orishas to enter Earth, using a metal axe and with the assistance of a dog. The primary symbols of Ogun are iron, the dog, and the palm frond. They symbolize Ogun's role in transformation, mediation, and function. Oya is the powerful Yoruba Orisha of the winds and known as a fierce warrior and strong protectress of women. She is the Orisha of the Niger River and her violent rainstorms are said to be its source. She can manifest as winds raging from the gentlest breeze to the raging hurricane or cyclone. Ibeji is the name of an Orisha representing a pair of twins in the Yoruba religion of the Yoruba people. In Yoruba culture and spirituality, twins are believed to be magical and are granted protection by the Orisha Shango. The firstborn of the twins is known as Taiwo, while the second one is called Kehinde. In Yoruba culture, the second twin is considered the elder twin. Olorun is the ruler of the heavens or known as supreme god or supreme being in Yoruba pantheon. He is outlying, distant, and does not partake in human rituals, so there are no shrines or sacrifices dedicated directly to him. In the Yoruba belief system, Olorun is composed of all beings, both divine and mundane. In Yoruba mythology, Sango is the god of thunder and lightning and as well one of the most worshipped gods all over the world. His symbol is a double-headed axe which represents swift and balanced justice. Oral tradition describes him as powerful with a voice like thunder and a mouth that spews fire when he spoke. In Yoruba mythology, Oba is said to be an Orisha of lakes and ponds. She was the daughter of Yemaja and one of the consorts of Shango. She is an extremely competent, independent market woman involved in commerce and politics. One of the Orishas, Ushoti is known to be the forest god of hunting and justice. He is a hunter spirit who is great at scouting for prey and flipping out likely targets. Ushoti is also good at uncovering the most elusive of animals, the truth, where he can dish out justice with his bow and arrows. Osun is an Orisha of beauty and love. She is also connected to destiny and divination. She is the patron saint of the Osun River in Nigeria, which bears her name. The most powerful and sweetest god is Obatala, a universally known deity. Much like Christian Jesus, Obatala is a child of God. Obatala is free of all colors, even though he is associated with whiteness. Silver and ivory are the charms associated with Obatala. Esu is the trickster god of the Yoruba of Nigeria, who is known to be essentially protective and benevolent spirit who serves Ifa, the chief god. He is also known to be the messenger for all Orishas. The great elephant of the earth, Erinle is an Orisha of the natural forces of the universe. As the god of the earth, he is a masculine and powerful god, huge and imposing, solid and unyielding. As the goddess of the waters, he is a swift-flowing and life-giving feminine deity. Orunmila is the Orisha of wisdom, knowledge, and divination. The source of knowledge, believed to have a keen understanding of the human form and of purity. Orunmila is the spirit of wisdom and the divinity of destiny and prophecy. Sunmare, which means rainbow in Yoruba language, is the divine serpent which is believed to create the rainbow and is a symbol of creation, human procreation, and the link between the world of the mundane and that of the ancestors. He also conveys messages through the rainbows from earth to heaven and from heaven to earth. Ori, literally meaning head, refers to one's spiritual intuition and destiny. It is the reflective spark of human consciousness embedded into the human essence, and therefore is often personified as an Orisha in its own right. It is believed by the Yoruba religion that human beings are able to heal themselves both spiritually and physically by working with the Orishas to achieve a balanced character. Sanmin is the Orisha of all plant life and magic. He is known as a powerful wizard and master of all spells and crafts found in the wild and the untamed areas of nature. He was identified as a lame Orisha, missing a leg and arm and blind in one eye. Olokun is revered as the ruler of all bodies of water and for the authority over other water deities. He is the only god that is both male and female. Olokun is highly praised for his or her ability to give great wealth, health, and prosperity. Oko is an Orisha of fertility and harvest. In Nigeria and the Benin Republic, he is a strong hunter and farming deity as well as a fighter against sorcery. These are considered the messengers of Oko. Babaluaye is the Orisha of healing in all its aspects, of the land, of respect for the elderly, and protector of health. His cult powers and spells are used against all kinds of diseases, but particularly against skin diseases, inflammation, and airborne diseases that can cause epidemics. Usually considered hobbled by disease, he universally takes dreams as offspring.
And another interesting part is their concept of death.
Death rituals and mourning practices of Africans are varied because of the existence of so many religious and cultural practices. Africans do not like facing the reality of death, and often do not encourage the contemplation of opposite of life. They believe that the spirit and matter cannot be separated. Death is the last phase of the elaborate celebration of African life cycle. Death is recognized in Africa through a rite of passage that prepares the spirits of the deceased to the journey of the next realm. In many African societies, after the body is buried, the family will have a second, more elaborate funeral. An African concept of death, there is one artifact in particular that stands out from the rest. It is the Igbo mask. This is used to speak to the ancestral spirits by one of their masquerades. They believe that the ancestral spirits in the spiritual world in which they live were directly linked to the world of the living. They believe that death was not the end of spirits' journey. According to the Igbo traditions, ancestors constantly watch over their descendants from the spiritual world. Two kinds of death exist in African societies, especially in Igbo tribe. In African societies, believe that when a person died at very young age, they call it as an unnatural death. Old age is the evidence of abomination, free life, and a good transition from one's physical existence to the spiritual, which is more purifying and elevated form of their existence. The titled men are ushered into it with the long drums and cannons in a form of first and second birth.
Many narratives deal with common concepts such as life after death or the birth of the universe, but they also include belief in magic, ancestor spirits, celestial beings, and an assortment of unusual legends that pertain to its animals.
Here are some African myth stories that form an integral part of African daily lives. The Mysterious Queen of Sheba. The royal family of Ethiopia claims to be direct descendants of the child born to the Queen and King Solomon. In their legends, the queen is named Makeda. According to the Kebra Negus, the story goes that the king invited Makeda to a ceremonial feast where spicy food was deliberately served. Because she was staying the night, the queen asked Solomon to swear he wouldn't force himself on her. He said he wouldn't take anything from her if she didn't take anything from him. Unfortunately, she got thirsty during the night, woke up, and reached for some water that was placed close to her bed. The king appeared, reminding her of her promise, as water was the most esteemed of all earthly possessions. The queen took the water and drank it, so setting the king free of his promise. The magic of the Lovidu Rain Queen. To the Lovidu people of Mpumalanga, South Africa, the Rain Queen is a fundamental part of their culture and history. Called Mujaji, the queen is said to be a living incarnation of the rain goddess. As she is the embodiment of rain, even her state of mind is said to influence the weather. The Mujaji is also believed to be able to send storms to destroy the Lovidu's enemies or gentle rain to nurture their friends. Every year, the Rain Queen's powers are displayed at the Ga Mujaji settlement during the rain-making ceremony. The queens are all expected to commit suicide by poison at the age of 60. On that day, all of the queen's rain-making ingredients, prized objects, and incantations kept secret throughout her reign are passed on to her successor. The Biloko. The Biloko are diabolical dwarf-like entities believed to roam the nethermost regions of the rainforest in central Zaire. According to the legends, these beings are restless ancestor spirits who still harbor resentment toward the living. They zealously guard the forest and its living creatures from the hollow trees in which they hide. Women lost consciousness at the sight of them, and only the most daring hunters enter these forests and survive. Apart from their hideous appearance, no hair, long sharp claws, and sharp-toothed mouth that can open wide enough to swallow a human being whole, they also have a tendency to bewitch and eat all those who come under their spell.
So, that's it for African mythology.
I hope that you'll learn something from us, and stay tuned for the next episode of LDR at Home.